Hidden Object Guru here, joined by.
The Unabridged Gamer.
We were about to start playing something in co op, so look forward to that. But as we were setting it up, I saw that Earth Defense Force 4.1 was on a list for PC Gamer of games that are so bad they're good. And that made me wonder, does PC Gamer not know how to make lists? So I was hoping you would join me on quickly breaking down this list and seeing if they know what the hell they're talking about. Because clearly they don't. Earth Defense Force 4.1 is an amazing game. It's an amazing game with a slightly awkward menu system, but that's it.
All right, hold on one second. There's one thing screw with my audio. Hold on, let's see here.
Okay.
Speakers. There, yes. Go through echo canceling. All right, say words. There we go. Okay,
Perfect.
now we have the threat of you hearing your own voice talking over yourself.
I
Which,
wasn't
that's
hearing that,
what-
but I'm glad that you dealt with that situation. So the problem with this list is they're starting by talking about The Room and Trolls 2, games that are terrible, movies that are terrible, but people like ironically. But I'd say you'd have to be a deeply stupid person to like Earth Defense Force ironically. Well, I mean, what do they hate about it? The super tight controls? The amazing, fully destructible environments? The waves of beautifully designed enemies? Like, what is the part that they don't think is good?
Well, to be fair, I'm gonna have to agree with you on this list being rather bullshit because I'm also seeing a Bloober Team horror game on here, and
Oh, well, let's scroll down and check that. Layers of Fear, that's just a good game.
yeah, I have only gotten to play Observer, but I've instantly after finishing Observer, it's like, okay, I was an idiot for never opening my free copy of Layers of Fear. I need to play this.
You do! Load up Layers of Fear. You're going to have a great time. It's not as good as Observer, but it's really good.
And
Wow.
well,
Okay,
I'm
next
not-
up, Deadly Premonition. Okay, I don't swear much on this channel, but fuck you, PC Gamer.
I mean, I can understand why there's some people who feel that way. I remember when Unskippable did a video for it, and it's like, there's plenty of things to make fun of, but none of it inherently played bad when we did our stream about it. It was like, it's janky, and,
Yeah,
there's a difference
it
between
is.
janky and bad.
Yeah, like it's how shall I put this? I mean, I'll read this later, but it's like, oh my god, they're complaining about the audio mix, like the audio mix. What are you talking? It's a masterpiece the way it should never be fixed. No, it should be fixed. The flaws in the game don't make the game better. It has one of the best stories a video game has ever had. And I don't care that the graphics are bad. I've never cared about graphics, ever. I've spent the last week playing Lonk's Adventure. Are you familiar with Lonk's Adventure?
No, but I'm already getting a mental image in my mind from just hearing Lonk's Adventure.
Oh yes, it's a pixel art Zelda parody that's amazing. But it's pixel art, Like, it doesn't have good graphics, but it doesn't need good graphics. Deadly Premonition has garbage combat. That's what it has. That's the only bad thing about the game. The combat, as you saw when you tried to play it, is utter and complete garbage.
I wouldn't go so far as to say complete garbage because I'm speaking as someone who's just had to sit through the entirety of Resident Evil Operation Raccoon City and its DLC.
Okay, all right.
Let me tell you, you're gonna have a hard, and also Arkham Origins Blackgate. So
yeah, Blackgate was pretty
you're
bad.
really gonna bring a more convincing
true.
argument to this. It's like, on the scale of those games, Deadly Premonition is Dead Space 2.
But honestly, like, this guy doesn't know what... I think the maker of the list just doesn't know what the word bad means. Because Deadly Premonition is a perfect mystery experience that also has terrible combat. And if you just lifted the god-awful combat out of the game, you'd have a perfect game.
Well, the thing that I'm getting that buggers me more is the next one is Tabletop Simulator. That's
crazy.
It is a tabletop simulator. That's all it is. I don't understand that.
Wait. And the best part is, he's saying, try hopping into an open D&D server. You'll never get around to actually playing D&D. Well, yeah, Tabletop Simulator's not for finding random people to play with. It's to facilitate gameplay for an existing party.
Yeah, this is like Roll20 for people who are more invested. This is...
Wow.
I mean, Amazing Frog, wasn't that like an
I
Ouya
I
game?
actually haven't played Amazing Frog. I can't weigh in on this.
I believe it
But
was an Ouya game, and it was actually basically the game that inspired the next one he lists, which is Goat Simulator. Which, like, okay,
Goat
yeah,
Simulator is a joke.
that is also his joke. And the next one, however, that doesn't piss me off nearly as
No,
much
Resident Evil
as
6
the
is
next
a
one.
perfectly good game. I
We've
mean,
already talked about it, and
we've
just
talked
it's
about
like
it extensively here on the channel, and I have been defending Resident Evil 6 for, well, when did it come out? 2013?
I think it was 2012.
2012? I've been defending this game for 7 years. I defended it in my review, and I stand by everything I said about the game. It's a good game that has a couple of problems and should have told you what order to play the campaigns in, right? But it's a
Yeah.
good game.
Oh my
Although
gosh, yes.
Although the biggest problem, though, is, again, I've said this before, I'll say it again, they don't tell you to focus on hand-to-hand combat.
That's the thing is, the Resident Evil 6 one, I'm wondering if it's not even necessarily because of the reputation Resident Evil 6 has.
Right.
It's more that recently, like, RaceFic did a video about how the game was so terrible, blah, blah, but he still loved it, and it was like, uh, okay, you're describing having fun with it, but your ways of describing it being terrible don't really
Well, yeah,
click.
you're forgetting to tell. No, no, you're absolutely right. People look at it and it's got this reputation for being bad, but you're talking about all the great things about this game, and then you say it's terrible, but you forgot to give any evidence that it was terrible. I've seen that so many times. Like this guy's saying, noisy. Okay, so of its 4 bloated campaigns, they take like 6 hours each. I don't think they're bloated. And each one has 5 big chapters taking place in a location. The Chris campaign is a low point? Why? We fought a yawn. We battled, creepy giant monsters on an aircraft carrier, and then we went to a subterranean lab full of weird guys in power armor with predator claws who turn into huge moths. Like, that's badass.
The
And I
only
like.
thing that I will say that sucked about the Chris campaign that still sticks out to me today was the final bit with Pierce
Oh yeah,
and
that's not great.
him. That
That
whole final fight
Yeah,
drags
the
on way
final
too
boss
long.
fight is terrible. Like
But
it's the worst
besides
boss fight
that,
in the game. Besides that, I mean, it's a perfectly good game. Like I don't, and again, he's not making an argument for why it's bad. The only thing he said is it has a bloated campaign, which I would disagree that the campaign is too long. Wow. But yeah, it could have had a more refined, balanced action game that cut between the different characters, only kept the best set pieces. Honestly, the game is just high quality. Like you're not making a strong argument here. Ricochet, I haven't played, so there you go.
yeah, as a Ricochet, I've always been curious, but it really my response to it is I could play that, or I could just finally get around to reviewing Tron 2.0, which is something that I really need to do
You
at some
should.
point.
You would love taking a look at Tron 2.0.
Oh, I remember playing the demo a bunch back at my grandma because it was one of the few things that would run on her computer, and she was like, "I want to play the rest of this game at some point," and then they finally added it to Steam.
Oh, good. All right, so for the list, Ricochet, I haven't played, not going to comment. Resident Evil 6 is a good game. Goat Simulator is a joke. It's not a bad game. The game itself is a joke. The fact that it doesn't function is the joke. You're not discovering a diamond in the rough. It's supposed to suck. It's not so bad it's good. It's not The Room. The Room doesn't mean to suck. It's the
Birdemic.
lost skeleton of Cadavra. It's supposed to suck, right? Frog Simulator, or what is it? Amazing Frog, is, you tell me, the exact same thing. It probably have the same sensibility. Tabletop Simulator, they just don't know what the game is for. So, let's see. A Deadly Premonition is a perfect game with bad combat. And the fact that you would put it on this list means you don't know what quality is. Layers of Fear is just a good game. And Earth Defense Force 4.1 is one of the best games that came out the year it came out. And I want to point out, his complaints are the graphics aren't good and the voice acting is bad. But I'm like, two
Did
middle
you know what
fingers aimed at you, buddy.
I that I'm trying to picture what game
Do you know
was
what has
expected.
bad? Do you know what has bad graphics and voice acting? The first 3 God of War games. Okay, the voice acting sucked in those. It's true. But anyway, my point is, Earth Defense Force 4.1. You and I are going to be playing that soon, so we'll save our comments on that for here. But I just wanted to say, PC Gamer, you suck at making lists.
I mean, after that really awkward Assassin's Creed Odyssey, look at all of the various genitalia we're climbing thing.
Jesus Christ.
I,
Yeah, I guess we never. You're right. I should have had a much lower bar for PC Gamer as an institution.
it's a shame because I've seen good things go there, but when a low
Well,
hits, it's such a low.
yeah, it's a really big low. All right, so thanks for joining us on this episode of List Criticism. PC Gamer sucks, doesn't know what quality is, and they should stop making lists. Join us back for some Earth Defense Force 4.1 on the co-op showcase that we do semi-regularly.